Think you know everything about the Mafia. What if the most feared bosses weren't who they seemed? Gregory Scarpa, one of the deadliest killers, was secretly an FBI informant for 30 years, while Vincent Gigante fooled America by faking insanity for 3 decades. The truth is darker than the myth. For decades, the Mafia has thrived on fear, silence, and myths. But what if 2 of its most notorious bosses weren't what the world thought they were? 2 names, Gregory Scarpa and Vincent the Chin Gigante, prove that in organized crime, truth is far stranger than fiction. Gregory Scarpa, the Grim Reaper with 2 faces. Scarpa was the ruthless enforcer of the Colombo crime family, feared for his endless brutality. He extorted businesses, ran loan sharking rackets, and carried out countless murders. His nickname, the Grim Reaper, wasn't just for show. Scarpa himself bragged that he stopped counting after his 50th kill. But behind this image of a merciless mob boss hid a shocking reality. Scarpa was a secret FBI informant for 30 years. In exchange for his freedom, he funneled intelligence to the Bureau while continuing his bloody reign in the underworld. He even assisted the FBI during the Civil Rights era, intimidating the Ku Klux Klan in Mississippi. The revelation left the world asking, was Scarpa truly a mafia kingpin, or just a government weapon disguised as one? Vincent Gigante, the odd father who fooled America. Meanwhile, across New York, Vincent Gigante reigned as the powerful boss of the Genovese crime family. But for 30 years, he walked the streets of Greenwich Village in a bathrobe and slippers, mumbling nonsense and pretending to be insane. To the public, he was a harmless old man. To his soldiers, he was the Chin, issuing orders worth millions. Doctors, judges, and even his own family swore he was mentally ill. But in 1997, the truth shattered the illusion. Gigante had been faking insanity for decades. His bizarre act bought him years of freedom, all while he secretly raked in over $100 million and ruled one of the most feared mafia empires in history. The chilling truth: Scarpa and Gigante weren't just mobsters, they were master manipulators who weaponized deception itself. Their double lives reveal an uncomfortable truth. In the mafia's world, power doesn't always come from bullets or blood, but from secrets, lies, and the ability to fool everyone, even the FBI. In the world of the mafia, where blood and power intertwine, certain names have become legends for their ruthlessness and cunning. But behind their notorious masks lie secrets that shook the world. 2 figures, Michael Franzese and Whitey Bulger, prove one chilling truth. The mafia is not just crime, but a deadly psychological game. Michael Franzese, the fallen prince of the mafia. Born into a crime family, Michael Franzese, the son of infamous mobster John Sonny Franzese, was destined for the mafia life. Rising quickly through the ranks of the Colombo crime family, he became a capo regime and one of the highest earners the mob had ever seen. Using schemes and manipulation, Franzese masterminded one of the largest gasoline tax frauds in U.S. history, pocketing millions each week. Fortune magazine even ranked him among the 50 richest and most powerful mafia bosses in America. But love changed everything. When he met dancer Camille Garcia, Franzese began questioning the bloody price of his lifestyle. Arrested in the mid-1980s and sentenced to 10 years in prison along with a $14 million restitution order, Franzese reached his breaking point. Behind bars, a prison guard handed him a Bible, an encounter that transformed his life. From a mafia prince, he was reborn as a motivational speaker, author, and activist, using his past as a warning to young people tempted by crime. Whitey Bulger, the monster in the shadows. While Franzese found redemption, another figure sank deeper into darkness. James Whitey Bulger, Boston's most feared gangster. From 1975 to 1990, Bulger secretly worked as an FBI informant, feeding information to eliminate rivals while continuing his reign of terror. He robbed banks, trafficked weapons internationally, and ordered countless murders. But his most shocking secret lay behind prison walls. While serving time in Atlanta for armed robbery, Bulger was forced into the government's MK-Ultra program, experiments with LSD aimed at psychological warfare. Bulger later described terrifying hallucinations, blood seeping from walls, men turning into skeletons, rooms twisting in shape. These living nightmares haunted him for life, fueling his paranoia and insomnia. He was not just a mob boss, but a human test subject sacrificed by his own government. In the end, in 2018, Bulger met a gruesome fate, beaten to death by fellow inmates in a federal prison. A chilling truth. Michael Franzese chose light and redemption. Whitey Bulger was consumed by darkness and betrayal. Two paths, two destinies, yet both expose the same haunting reality. The Mafia is not only brutal, it is a place where men gamble away their very souls for power. In the shadows of the Italian Mafia, some names seemed to exist only as legends, until the truth emerged and shocked the world. Two such figures were Bernardo Provenzano, known as the Invisible Godfather, and Antonio Bardolino, a man officially declared dead yet rumored to still walk among us. Bernardo Provenzano, the godfather of biblical codes. For over 40 years, Provenzano lived like a ghost. Italian police often suspected he was already dead, yet in reality, he ruled the Mafia from the darkness. No phones, no face-to-face meetings. Every command was written in tiny coded notes inspired by passages of the Bible, secretly delivered through churches or trusted couriers. This shadowy method earned him the name the Invisible Godfather. Despite his religious facade, Provenzano was merciless. Authorities believe he ordered the deaths of over 1,000 people, justifying the killings as if they were acts of divine judgment. When he was finally captured in 2006, police discovered Bibles filled with dots, arrows, and symbols, evidence of a chilling command system that combined faith with bloodshed. Antonio Bardolino, the mob boss who faked death. While Provenzano vanished into secrecy, Antonio Bardolino's story reads like a crime thriller. As the feared head of the Casalesi clan, Bardolino was officially reported assassinated in Brazil in 1988. His death certificate closed the case. The mob boss was gone at just 43 years old, but whispers never stopped. He's still alive. In 2012, a wiretap recording by Italy's financial police reignited the mystery. An associate was heard claiming Bardolino was living in America or Mexico, healthy, strong, and powerful. Investigators later found photos of a man in his 60s-70s bearing a striking resemblance to Bardolino. If authentic, it would mean the mob boss had successfully faked his death and remained in hiding for more than 3 decades, possibly running his empire under a new identity. The truth still buried. One man used the Bible as a weapon of murder. Another may have staged his death to escape justice. Provenzano and Bardolino reveal a chilling reality. In the Mafia, death is not always the end, but sometimes a carefully staged performance to preserve power. In the history of the Mafia, there are names that not only spread fear, but became symbols of pure ruthlessness. Al Capone, the infamous Chicago crime boss, and Matteo Messina Denaro, the man who once claimed he had killed enough people to fill a cemetery, are chilling reminders of the blood-soaked power of the underworld, the Iron Fist of Chicago. When it comes to American organized crime, Al Capone stands at the very top. During Prohibition, he built a criminal empire fueled by bootlegging, gambling, and murder. Capone spent millions bribing police, prosecutors, and judges, turning Chicago into his personal playground. His golden rule was simple: cross me, you die. His reign of terror reached its peak in the St. Valentine's Day Massacre of 1929, when Capone's men, disguised as police, lured rival gangsters into a warehouse and opened fire. 6 men were slaughtered instantly, another fatally wounded. Though the prime target, Bugs Moran, escaped by sheer luck, the massacre shocked the nation and cemented Capone's legend as America's bloodiest gangster. Yet ironically, he was not undone by bullets, but by bookkeeping. Arrested in 1931 for tax evasion, Capone's empire collapsed. By the time of his death in 1947, he was a broken man, his mind ravaged by syphilis, living out his final days as a ghost of his former self. Matteo Messina Denaro, the cold-blooded boss with a haunting secret. Unlike Capone, Matteo Messina Denaro belonged to a new generation of mafia in Italy, stealthy, ruthless, and elusive. He orchestrated the assassinations of legendary anti-mafia judges Giovanni Falcone and Paolo Borsellino in 1992, boasting, "I have killed enough people to fill a cemetery." But after his capture, police discovered something unexpected, a personal diary filled with torment about his daughter. In his writings, Denaro confessed to feeling erased by her absence. "Your absence cancels me out," he lamented. To the world, he was a butcher without mercy. Yet within his secret notes, he revealed the vulnerable pain of a father longing for a child he never truly knew. A chilling truth. Al Capone and Matteo Messina. Denaro, two eras, two legacies, but the same grim reality. Mafia power is built on blood, deception, and secrets so haunting they outlive the men themselves. In the Mafia's world, where the sacred code of silence, omertà, was thought unbreakable, one man shocked the entire underworld by betraying it. That man was Joseph Valachi, the first insider to publicly expose the secrets of Cosa Nostra. Yet while Valachi shook the Mafia with his testimony, across the ocean, Salvatore and Rosario Maceo were building a paradise of vice in Texas, turning Galveston into the Mafia's playground. Joseph Valachi, the man who shattered omertà. Born in 1904, Valachi began as a petty thief and getaway driver before rising through New York's underworld. Suspected in more than 20 murders, he was no stranger to blood, but his life changed when he was sentenced to 20 years for drug trafficking. Fearing execution by his own associates inside prison, Valachi made an unprecedented move. In 1963, he testified before the U.S. Congress, exposing the Mafia to the world. Clad in a suit and tie, Valachi described in chilling detail the Mafia's hierarchy, blood oath initiation ceremonies, and the shadowy bosses who ruled New York's 5 families. For the first time, Americans learned that the Mafia was not fiction. It was a structured, secret society known as Cosa Nostra. His testimony shattered the myth of Mafia invincibility and changed law enforcement forever. The Maceo brothers, the kings of Galveston. Unlike Valachi, Salvatore Sam Maceo and his brother Rosario built their empire by turning crime into open entertainment. Arriving in Texas around 1915, they quickly established dominance in bootlegging and illegal gambling. Their crown jewel was the Hollywood Dinner Club, a glamorous speakeasy where politicians, celebrities, and mobsters mingled under sparkling lights. With the motto, "We break the law, but in a way people enjoy," the Maceos transformed Galveston into a mini Las Vegas. At their peak, the brothers' empire grossed more than $5.6 million in just 2 years, the equivalent of tens of millions today, employing 600 people with $1 million payroll. But their reign couldn't last forever. Investigations closed in, and fate struck. Sam died of cancer in 1951. Rosario followed in 1954. With them, the golden age of Mafia Galveston died too, a haunting reality. One man shattered omertà, another pair turned organized crime into glitzy entertainment. Together, they revealed a chilling truth. The Mafia doesn't just thrive in shadows, it bends justice and even nightlife to its will. In the world of organized crime, some deaths remain shrouded in mystery, raising questions that may never be answered. 2 of the most infamous cases belong to Benjamin Bugsy Siegel, the hot-headed gangster often mislabeled as the father of the Las Vegas Strip, and John Dillinger, the legendary bank robber and escape artist who tormented the FBI. Though their paths were different, both met dramatic, violent ends that etched their names into American crime history. Bugsy Siegel, the Vegas dream and death behind the window. Bugsy Siegel's fiery temper and ruthless ambition propelled him through New York's underworld in the 1920s and 1930s. While history often credits him with inventing the Las Vegas Strip, the truth is more complicated. Siegel didn't create it, but he transformed it. By seizing control of the struggling Flamingo Hotel project, he sought to turn the desert into a gambler's paradise. At first, the venture bled money, but eventually, the Flamingo flourished, and Las Vegas became the Mafia's kingdom. But Siegel never lived to enjoy the riches. On the night of June 20th, 1947, while reading a newspaper at his girlfriend's Beverly Hills home, 9 bullets tore through the window. One shot blasted through his eye, killing him instantly. The murder shocked the nation. To this day, his killer remains unknown. Was it the Mafia settling scores or former allies seeking revenge? John Dillinger, the wooden gun escape. Unlike Siegel, John Dillinger wasn't a mobster but a one-man nightmare for American banks and law enforcement in the 1930s. Jailed in an Indiana prison dubbed escape-proof, Dillinger proved otherwise. With nothing more than a wooden gun painted black, he tricked guards, seized a real weapon,